What did I play at my first SCG tournament? It was a standard tournament during Scars of Mirrodin Standard. And I played Sultai, Glissa the Traitor Control. It was wonderful. No, I wasn't a deliberate player. I just didn't know what I was doing, so I was slow. Anywho, this is a black-red aggressive deck with a zombie sub-theme. The big payoff we get for being in zombies, and technically skeletons, Gutterbones the skeleton, is we get to not only play Judith as a 3-mana way to give all of our creatures extra power, but we also get to play Death Baron as a way to give all of our creatures extra power. So these two together, along with the core of various zombies and skeletons and cats, allow us to be fairly aggressive. It's like felt pretty reasonable last time we played it. Let's see if that continues in the second run. That's definitely the right attitude to have, zombie. If you're ever playing Magic and it stops being fun, you should take a step back and like evaluate why you're playing. Because Magic's the thing that you should derive joy from. So if it's not deriving joy, definitely take a break. Or play in a different way. Change formats, change decks, etc. Look at our incredibly reasonable and castable spells in our perfect mana base. Off to a swell start. Is Deliver Unto Evil any good? That's the Nicol Bolas spell, right? No, this is card for card the deck list we played last time to start. So, for those not familiar, this cat has Menace, because random 1-drops always have Menace in Magic, so I'm going to attack freely here. Arcanist here probably means that they're a feather deck. It's unclaimed territory, something this deck might be interested in. I don't think so, because of Judith. I also have like a mix of zombies and skeletons, and I have like Heartfires. I have non-creature spells that are red. And like, obviously it feels bad to be missing your colors, but like, you're always going to be missing your colors some of the time. It's just how Magic goes. Alright, let's get some Lava Coils in here. Heartfire sounds good for killing their dorks. They're an aggressive deck. I probably don't have time to be activating Graveyard Marshal, so I'm going to trim a couple of those. And Dreadhorde Invasion is probably a little bit of a liability to draw multiples of. Have you ever owned a cat? They all have Menace. Fair. My mother is like a crazy cat lady. I think she's up to like 5 or 6 of them at this point. This is a great Hearthstone hand. Unfortunately, we need lands to play Magic. Alright, Invasion plus Priest. I'm not a big fan of Theater of Horrors against Esper in general, just because they play a bunch of Mortifies. However, the fact that we have Dreadhorde Invasion makes Theater of Horrors a little bit better potentially, because Theater of Horrors, like with Dreadhorde and Theater, we like stress out their copies of Mortify a little bit. I don't know, Lucky Dog. That's not something I've experimented with. There definitely could potentially be a mono black build, but it's not something that I've tried. Like, don't write off having a second color after one game where I mulliganed and was missing a color. Like, I think that's a pretty big, pretty loose thing to do. So I'm going to activate my Priest in response to this Dreadhorde trigger. So that way I get another token from this. Do you mean best of 3 Pringle? Yeah, pretty much everything I play on my stream is best of 3 constructed with sideboards. As someone who plays a lot of Magic, in my opinion, playing Magic as a best of 3 game allows you more chances to leverage play skill and knowledge of matchups in the format. Sideboarding is also one of the most skill testing things in Magic, in my opinion. Oh, how? There's a little toggle switch. You need the little toggle switch. Top right-hand corner of your screen. Yeah, traditional is best of 3. Alright, I think I just attacked Gideon here. I could, like, activate Priest to sack this and this to make them sack Gideon next turn, but I think I'd rather just, like, run him down. I don't really want to throw my Death Barons away because they make all my stuff bigger. So we've tried Grim Innate in other builds, but in this build, I've not been playing it because we have more black mana than red mana, so the probability of casting Grim Innate on turn 1 is low in this deck. Yeah, Solar Blaze definitely hurts. Makes me feel bad for not using this. Telegraph, thanks for the 4 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Rage Harder with the 2-month resub. Thanks for coming back. I might just lose this game because I didn't use this aggressively on the Gideon. I don't know that I'm supposed to play around this card out of them. It's definitely a good card for them to play. Card's super powerful. Yeah, I feel like we needed like one more creature this game. Like our deck doesn't actually play that many lands and we're definitely flooding a little bit here. I think I'm pretty obligated to block at this point. What problem does our deck have that you're solving by adding blue and Gleaming Overseer automatic? Why is that a change that I want to make? I'm playing ranked Z Pringle. I think I just do this and hope to draw something that's a spell. Really like to draw like Heartfire to kill this. And they have to sacrifice this, otherwise they lose this. Alright. It gives me some chump blockers, so that's nice. I would play more Ugins before I would play Prison Realm. I think playing enchantment removal like Prison Realm and Excellence Binding in a format where enchantments are a high priority to remove target is nonsense. That's a Lyra.
Share in my light.
So, automatic. Again, when I say, what does a card do for my deck, I don't mean tell me the text that's on the card. I mean, identify a problem that I have and solve it by adding that card. So, like, I know what the card text is. I'm asking specifically, how does it apply to what I'm playing in terms of helping me succeed? This Lyra probably means we're dead. Lava Coil is my only removal spell I can draw here, right? Which does not answer her. Yeah. And maybe the Solar Blaze was definitely super punishing. I could have killed the Gideon on their turn 4 by sacrificing my thing. They didn't have a sweeper. I think not doing it was right, but they did, so we got set pretty far behind. Just couldn't catch back up. We really needed a double spells turn at some point that game. We were just able to draw 2 meaningful cards in a row and just couldn't put it together. I was just gonna die to my own card. Why the day? My enchantment does a damage to me every turn. So the Lyra hits me for 5, which leaves me at 2, which means I'm just gonna die to my enchantment. So, you're right, I could have powered through to the Lyra, but I just, like, was dead to rights otherwise. Yeah, Lucky, the Lyra versus Baneslayer argument is such a fantastic example of the power level of Magic cards being contextual to the format in which they're played. Because, like, a card that's completely overbearing in one situation is completely underwhelming in others when they're surrounded by other cards. We played the Grixis Amass deck yesterday, Holy Tacos. It's up on YouTube already. So someone added Black Red Zombies back to the queue. That's why the title says Black Red Zombies. Alright, I mean, getting Chain Whirler here feels bad, but it means they don't get to cast the Steamkin, so I got that going for me. I agree, Patches. That's brutal. Oh. The other day when we had played this deck on stream and it felt okay, we played against a lot of Nexus and Control, and we were just kind of racing those decks as opposed to being interacted with. Definitely does not feel good against these decks that are interacting with us heavily. I guess my land count might be a little heavy too. I've got 18 lands in here. Maybe I want to cut one of those before we play the next one. I can see that being reasonable. I think I like Tibalt. He generates reasonable blockers. Oh, this protects my stuff from Chain Whirler a little bit, which is nice. Yeah, I have 23 lands because the mathematics of the color requirements say I needed colors. But maybe I'm just supposed to be greedy and try and get lucky. Cutting down to 17 black is probably fine. I have 18 black sources, sorry. I probably said lands. What I meant was I have 18 black sources in 23 lands. You're probably correct that I said the wrong thing, though. Great, no shock here is a great start for us. This card's really messed up when you're on the play. Very powerful. Dead. Lava Coil, rude. This is the part where they Chain Whirler me and we concede. It did go rather poorly, Red. We got beat up by basically everything. Add the last Heartfire in. That card was good the other day. You turn best of 3 on right here. This toggle. All play modes versus arena play modes. Top right-hand corner of the main screen. They definitely need to show that to people better. You are far from alone in not knowing where that is. At one point when we started today, we were 1 match win away from Diamond. The fact that best of 3 is behind a toggle, and that Wizards of the Coast likes to tout that 97% of the matches played in Arena are best of 1, is a fantastic reminder that data doesn't lie, but people lie with data all the time. It's very important to remember that. Because that 97% doesn't tell the details. It lies by omission. I'm going to keep my guaranteed 3rd land here. So, what are the odds this just eats it here? I think I'm just going to play this. I think there's a good chance whatever I play here dies. Yeah, I cut a land. I cut a swamp. Well, that feels good. I wonder if they have another one of these that would explain their using it aggressively. I don't know if this deck is good, but I definitely want to try and find like the best Dreadhorde Butcher deck. This card's super strong. We played against someone playing a Jund aggro deck earlier today that had Dreadhorde Butcher in it that seemed pretty sweet. It is a warrior. Warriors, come out and play. You have a shock. Kill. Jund Butcher with Thud. God, this card's probably absurd with Colossus, huh? That's gotta be nuts. What's the deck of the day so far? Probably Jeskai Saheeli. The Jeskai Saheeli deck we started on was very good. So, they didn't do a whole lot, but they played red-green lands. I feel like they're probably a Rekindling Phoenix deck if they're a more interactive red-green deck, which probably makes this good. I feel like Dreadhorde Invasion might be the cut. If they're aggressive, they can pressure my health tool to make this bad. Just leave 2 of these in, trim a Heartfire. Does Bedeck killing Butcher make it do 3 more damage? Yes. Yes, it does. Which is sweet. Jund Butcher on turn 3 with Thud. Thud sounds like a little bit too deep, but the rest of that sounds fine. Well, we had to go third this game, but at least we can play our spells, I guess. We changed back to the Gates deck for a little bit. Treasure map, interesting. Someone in chat just asked the very good question. Does legend ruling Judith give you 2 triggers? It does, in fact. That's one of the reasons why Judith is such a good card. Is because she, when you draw too many of them, you can just play the second one and like get a 2 damage out of it. Which is sweet. They do see each other. That's why you get 2 triggers. That's a big in.
My presence alone. Secrets manifest before you.
Alright, so I just go like priest here. Like hope for the best. Hey, Fate, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think I just do this. And then next turn I can play this, and then priest gets real silly. Yeah, if they somehow let us untap with all of these Dorkos, they are not about to have a good time. Ugin is very powerful. Wow, do they really just have bricks? That would be so good for us. Alright. A little bit rude. Little bit rude. That's all they got, though. I get both these priests. Alright, so I do this. I'm going to activate priest, sack this. Target you. So this gives me a deal 2 and 2 deal 1. So I'm going to deal 1 here. And I'm going to deal... Am I going to deal 1 here? I'm going to deal 1 here. We'll get to you eventually. I want to finish this off. Now, this could unlock their ability to kill this other priest before I use it. Yep. Alright, so we're still not in an... Well, I didn't have 2 creatures to use it. Oh, I guess I could have sacked these 2, huh? You're right. Maybe? Maybe? Yeah, I could have used it, right? Huh? I think you're right. I should have used it. I wasn't thinking that I didn't want to bin my other priest, but I could have, and maybe that was worth it. I didn't think about it. I was just like, in my head, I was like, of course I don't want to sack my priest, but I think you're right. I might have. Vermelhus, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. Hey, I appreciate that. Welcome. I guess I'm like down my priest then, but like I'm down my priest anyways now. Alright, Skitty Kitty. I should have played this first, because they might blow this in response. They know my last card is good. My sequencing here was Rancid. Oh, they're just powering this up to kill Judy. Sure. You cannot, Vermel. So the choosing your permanent for the legend rule is what we refer to as a state-based action that you cannot respond to. So basically, every time priority passes, the game asks, hey, are there 2 legends of the same thing in play? And then immediately you have to choose one of them to keep. I don't know that we're going to be able to power through this Ugin. Don't know that we're going to be able to power through this Ugin. I guess I get to sacrifice this, which kills the Dire Fleet Daredevil from Judith's trigger. This doesn't really help me, right? Because they have like this creature land here too. I think we're just spent at this point. All right, so they're a little bit more controlling than I expected. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these Midnight Reapers in and get these Dreadhorde Invasions in. I think I'm gonna trim probably Heartfires and a couple of Death Barons. I think I want to leave Lava Coil in because they do have Rekindling Phoenix that I want to exile. Bub Jinx, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Eugene. I mean, Eugene's a 6-mana Planeswalker, right? Like, he gets into play and he gives you the business. The fact that he both generates card advantage and impacts the board simultaneously is just incredibly powerful. Let's do it. Butcher's on the plate. Run him down. Do we think they have Shock? I think they do. I'm going to play Dreadhorde Invasion. Shock this. Have a good one, Buckles. Eugene versus New Lilith, which is more powerful? I think I prefer Eugene on average. And again, the big reason for that preference is because you don't have to choose between card advantage and impacting the board. You could also say that it's not really a great direct comparison too, because for instance, Liliana tends to be a lot better against creature decks because she can come down and make them sacrifice 2 things right away, whereas Ugin is better against card advantage decks. Well, that sucked. gonna gain 2 here. I don't think that's strictly true, Verm. So like the types of so like what you've done is you're assuming that I'm saying Liliana is your first play against a creature deck. So the types of decks that want to play Liliana tend to be decks that are full of interaction, right? So like, I'm not saying you play Liliana as your first thing and she's good. I would say as a curve topper in a deck that's going up the curve, playing removal, Liliana is very reasonable. Because she's not the first thing that you're doing, she's the third or fourth thing that you're doing. I think we're pretty dead to these Phoenixes, huh? I guess I can try and hit a Lava Coil. Gosh, we're so very close. We're dead to Shock and Lightning Strike here, and I think they had a Shock earlier. Because this kills me on my upkeep if they have a Shock. This does 4, 5, 6, 7. They have a lot of draws here that kill us. If you are on your desktop computer, you can see who gave you a sub in your alert section, Esgal. Very close game. Yeah, I don't know. There's the plat 4 rank floor. I think I'm gonna shelve this one for now. So the other day when we played this, and I said I felt like it might be reasonable to explore again, we had played mostly against decks that weren't playing to the board, and we were just racing them, or like playing through the removal like Esper Control and Reclamation, and playing against lots of really heavily interactive decks, I felt like we just kind of got picked apart. I felt like our average card quality here wasn't high enough to be competitive when we didn't have our synergies coming together. So this deck kind of felt like the problems it had in previous seasons, which is just like when everything's coming together and people aren't disrupting us, what we're doing is powerful, but what we're doing is fragile enough that we can't do anything powerful through meaningful disruption.